Thanks so much, and thanks for all of you hanging in there with us. Today, incredible information, and as David mentioned, so much of what came out of the last discussion presents an opportunity for us within our own organizations, our own agencies, our own sphere of influence, to try to operationalize those stops and those starts so that it's something that we begin actually integrating into the way that we meet children, families, and young people, and so that their experience becomes something different than what it very often is in the absence of those things that you've already identified. We're going to move on down to something that's very exciting to me. Having had the opportunity to work closely with both the Genesee and the Saginaw County envisioning groups. It's been an incredible opportunity to get to know people who care very, very deeply about the communities, about the families, the children who live there, and who are devoting themselves, their lives, their work to making a difference in the lives of those families, in the lives of all of us who live in the community and can benefit from the work that's taking place here. We've assembled an expert panel. I'm going to introduce them, but I'll go ahead and invite our panel members to find your way up here. You presumably know who you are. I know who you are. And this time is wherever it is comfortable. This is a panel of people representing the two division groups, Genesee and Saginaw. And the purpose of the panel here is to discuss why and how a community-led, a community-designed approach to supporting families can benefit families and can benefit the whole community. These individuals before you have spent, if not all, significant portions of their careers in leading these efforts and continue to be very involved in trying to solidify a community approach to prevention and to family support. So I'm going to secure. Okay, I'll try to keep it on. I'm going to start down here at the beginning with Jay Snodgrass, who is a member of our Genesee County envisioning group here. Jay is in his 20th year in the prosecutor's office here in Genesee County. For many of those years, he's worked in the area of child abuse and neglect, juvenile crime. He is the first community prosecutor in that office, starting a while back. He's now bureau chief that is charged with actually preventing crime in the community. We're so happy to have Jay be a part of this discussion here. Ms. Sherease Stapleton, we've heard from today, who has gotten our attention in other ways leading up to this. Sherease is the director of the Mothers of Joy Institute for Parenting and Family Wellness. Also within the Genesee County group here. The Mothers of Joy provides a number of programs, including things like positive parenting for parents, parenting during times of a pandemic, the Motherhood Summit, Loving Homes Meditation, which is near and dear to to my heart as well, and many other supports that mothers actually benefit from. Lionel Grant, still staying on this side here, is the Mobile Family Resource Center Program Director. And I'm actually myself quite interested in hearing a little bit more about that, because we've had discussions. One of the groups somewhere over here today said one of the things that we need to stop doing is stop letting people come to us, right? And that we go to them. And I'm hoping that this is an opportunity for us to begin to explore a bit. Lionel's a dedicated leader in the community, and just like all of you, has a huge passion for family and child. Samm Jones is a member of our Saginaw group. She is the executive director of the PartnerShift network for about the past 2 years. There, she's been running nonprofits in the Great Lakes Bay region for maybe about 10 years at least. Could be a little bit longer than that. She is an ambassador for the Saginaw Chamber of Commerce, and is involved in any number of supports out there for families available in the community. And our guest from Saginaw also, Reverend Joyce Seals, falls into that category of me being very inadequate to introduce her. But we're so grateful for Reverend Seals to be with us today. She has been leader in the Health Equity Council, as Bridget mentioned a little bit earlier, which is designed to strengthen and build the capacity of the community in Saginaw to deliver programs that can reach those members of the community who are inequitably served by our health care system. She served on the Saginaw City Council for a number of years, including Mayor Saginaw. She's been tremendously respected and well-known member of the community. So it's such a pleasure to be able to hear from them. And we're not going to do any more because I've already talked too much. But I'm just going to ask kind of a general question, and is, in fairness to you, and all of our panelists, there's no obligation on their part to make sure their answers correspond in any way to my questions. So they may just want to share with you what they see is important around community-based opportunities that we have before us today. But I'm going to ask them a very general question just to get started off here, and that is, let us know a little bit about how you see the opportunities in the role that you're in for supporting families in the community where you live, and what types of supports you see, whether they're delivered by your agency, your organization, or whoever else. What are those that are the most important, like, helping us support families where you are? So I'll start. I'll just start with you because you're an easy target there.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but I'm not sure this is amplifying. But can everybody hear me if I just talk without this? No. Okay. Lionel and I needed, we have such a big presence in the community that we need to see space. I actually appreciate it because I can stretch out a little bit. If you want to stretch out too, that's fine. I am an attorney. I want to say that first. So David, I don't know, is there any other attorneys in the room? So, but we got to get out of here quick. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact for, first of all, for inviting me to come. Our problem and the support that we needed to solve is the fact that we lack trust in the community. And years ago, gosh, 25 years ago, when I first started, I became the county's first community prosecutor. And the name of the project back then was called Project Trust because we had the same problem 25 years ago that we do today. Okay, that's one thing I see in child abuse, neglect, and juvenile child welfare and is that the problems are cyclical. They seem to be the same over and over. If there's one thing I could do in the life of my career, it would be to end that cycle. It just seems like it's never ending, but we can talk about that. So we had funding through the federal government back then, and there were grants for community prosecution and policing. And then 9/11 it lost all our funding and security. If I were to be able to go back and tell the funders how important that funding for community policing, community prosecution would be, I don't know where we could be. I think we'd be in a much better place if we had kept that funding. See, we could help with intelligence and all that kind of stuff, but only if the community trusts what we're doing. So recently, about 17 years passed, and we haven't received a raise or any support in Flint, prosecutor's office for that long period of time. And thanks to Senator Cherry, who's here, or Representative Milner was here, I wish she would have been here, so I got to thank her. But thanks to Senator Cherry, our office got about $3 million to expand our office. Well, let me tell you what we're doing first. Don't clap yet. Listen, I say that because we've not always done the right thing, right? We have not always listened to the people. And, by the nature of our job, we're reactive, right? Crime occurs and we react to it. Well, who's to say that we can't try to prevent it, right? And offices across the country are now just having this realization. We're sort of coming to the party late, actually. Wish we didn't, again, stuck with the program that we had 25 years ago. But because of that funding, Mr. Lade, my boss, came to me and said, hey, you remember that thing that you really loved back in the day? We kind of go out in the community and talk to folks, find out what their needs are, try to meet the needs. He said, we have enough money where I can do that. So if you want to do it. So that's what I do in charge of the bureau call. It's a bureau of one, by the way. It goes over Army. That's part of my job to start expanding, institutionalizing the idea of prevention, right? By the way, my wife is in injury prevention, so I think I'm in this group. I'm obligated to say that. So, but the idea is, what can we do to prevent crime? And so I run a bureau called the Bureau of Restorative Justice and Violence Reduction Strategies. And so what we're trying to do is support the communities come up with innovative ways to prevent crime. We have a significant, those of you that are from Flint, that house in Saginaw too. We have a significant juvenile crime problem. And so one of my jobs is to create a task force. I ended up on the FACT group trying to do the same exact thing that FACT is trying to do. And so I said that at the first meeting. I said, gosh, this seems awful crazy that we're doing the exact same thing, just in two different areas, right there in child welfare and justice, right? So what I'm trying to do with the task force is trying to garner support from schools, police departments, and after school programs. So I think I saw support from a lot of the intercession here, working with Boys and Girls Clubs, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. That's about a lot of groups that are local, so they Flint here in Genesee. But we're trying to stop crime before it starts, get a hold of the juveniles that might be tipping into crime and trying to turn. What we're trying to do is find out what needs they have and those needs. So that's how we are supporting. And I could go on forever, but that's basically where we're at.
It fakes you out.
Lionel Grant Council. So we want to say, Grant Council, if you're familiar with us, if you really know us, like, okay, yeah, child abuse and neglect, this is awesome. But that may not be everybody's experience. And even if you haven't had interaction with us, just the name child abuse and neglect, that turns a lot of people away. So, oh, wait, that's not my conversation. And so, we realize that we have a wonderful resource. You know, we do a lot more than what the name suggests. But we need to find a way to bring people into the conversation. And so what came about was our program that we're launching. So we are at the launch stage with this program, but we've been doing a lot of legwork to get to that. So the official name is the Rolling Family Resource Center. So we look at all this, you know, Flint County, Genesee County, and Saginaw. If you line all these resources that are in the room, most of us would say, well, there's a lot of stuff to work with here, right? But the problem is, although it's there, there's many people that's never going to come across our doors. And so the thought was, let's give you an RV. Let's do some renovation inside or build it from scratch, what we did. And let's take this out into different neighborhoods. So now what we're doing is we're connecting people to resources. So when people say, what do you do? What does your program do? Really the strength comes in what our partners do. And so that's the approach that we're using to take, connecting people, being the connectors.
That's good.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much. My name is Sherease Stapleton. I'm the Executive Director of Mothers Building Institute for Parenting and Family Learning. And I also share a title with you. I'm also a pastor. So, look, it's a hard job. Somebody else. I'm thankful to be in this space to talk to you today about what we're talking about. I am also a person with lived experience. So the families that come across my path, I'm able to talk to them in such a way where the connection is much deeper than what a lot, not saying that everybody is happening, but when you're dealing with people who are in trauma and who have dealt with situations, they kind of say, oh, okay, well, you've been through it, maybe you can tell me something, or maybe you do relate. Right? Sometimes I wish I would not have had it, but it works for my business. The things that our program provides is, it's not just for moms, it's called mothers. You know why? Because mothers nurture, because mothers put all of the leg work into a lot of stuff, right? And they go to sleep and wake up early and, sometimes don't go to sleep. So I say all that to say that we provide parents with education on how to parent well. And when I say parent well, that's the whole parent, right? The whole parent. And we don't give parents a lot of credit, right? We beat them up, because the kids are bad. We talk about them when we see them in the store. We don't go help them. I'm one of those people that go help them in the grocery store. It's all right, mama. I see what's going on. You can't stop this child from having this moment, but okay, right? So I ain't judging you. I'm here to assist. And we have a program called HEAL, which is to help to educate and action love with an S. And it's a sustainable healing, because most of the time, we do these programs, we got 6-week cohorts, we got 5-week sessions. But our programs, there is a 6-week cohort, but then you can come back around and do that cohort again, because what you learned in the first cohort, you may not have got. So it may be more stuff you need to learn. And you don't have to be a parent that's got a problem to come take class. A lot of times when I want to learn something, I go on Facebook. Oh, sorry, not Facebook. I go on, what's it called? YouTube. Because that's where my children YouTube. And if anything you need to, if you want to learn how to paint a table and sand it down, they got the 10 steps to do it on YouTube. So since that's the case, I believe that there should be opportunities for parents who don't, hey, I just want to know how to talk to my child better, or I want to know how to deal with my stress a little better. You don't have to always have a problem in order to get a solution. We did what he said, parenting in the pandemic. Ooh, that was a lot of wounds during that time. But I'm thankful because we learned something, didn't we? We learned how to connect with people on a whole nother level. They was cooking and washing their clothes, but they was still in the Zoom session, right? They was crying in the background. That's okay. That's what the class is about. So we are, but you like the one young lady said, you have to meet people where they are. Because the work always saying, oh, if you're not here by 5 o'clock, you know, our class starts at 5:30. I was just telling them at our table, if a parent calls me and say, Miss Sherease, I missed the bus, or my car is shut down, I'm about to set up a Zoom link for them so that they won't miss class. Because that's how important it is to me for them to be able to get what they need. Because if they don't, they may have to go to court and tell this person, I couldn't come to class because of this. I won't be a barrier. Right. And that's what some of us in programming have to really be reminded. We've been put in these different positions, the different opportunities to be a barrier breaker. All right. All right. I just did a little bit of preaching, but that's okay. So even in the midst of that, I went to Saginaw, y'all, and I became a master trainer in ACEs, which is the Adverse Childhood Experience. And 2017 is something that changed the whole trajectory of my life because it made me look at people who I dealt with in a more compassionate way. Because if you're dealing with trauma, you're dealing with, you know, mental health issues. You may be dealing with alcohol. You may be dealing with anger issues because of you just don't know how to deal with your anger. Or it's something going on in your body that you don't even know that that's happening. So you are able to look at those things at another level. And I wrote a book, y'all, a whole book on positive parenting for trauma-informed families. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to get information in our community's hands so that they'll be able to know how to defend themselves when people come up to them and say, you're not being a good parent, or how come your child doing this? They can say, okay,
Hey, you know, listen, don't buy it on Amazon. I made that mistake.
Yeah.
Buy it right from her.
That's right. Thank you so much. And just, I'm a local person. I've lived in Clinton, Genesee County all my life. And I've watched the ups and downs that we went through, right? And I know the struggles that our family. I'm from the north side of Clinton, so I know what that's all about. I don't want to see this city fail. I want to see us be back on the map again. You know, it was once upon a time you wanted to bring your children here and put them in the school system. We were a rising community. So that's what I want to see happen again. I am thankful to be here today. I'm thankful for you to be here and come and see me. I'm right over on Rock T on the way. Oh, that's the other thing. We created 2 programs that is nowhere in Genesee County or world. You ready? Ready. So there is a family safe space. We have what's called a family safe space. Any parent can come have a cup of coffee. It does not matter because I'm always there. I think I'll live there. I do have a house, y'all. But they can come, have a cup of coffee, come sit down, have a conversation, no questions asked. They can just be there while I'm working. Because what it is, sometimes people need another environment, another space to be able to just take a breath, you know? And there's family self-care. Doesn't that sound pretty? Family self-care. It's basically teaching the whole family what it means to go to your doctor's appointment. Get up and brush your teeth. I mean, because that's self-care. Making sure that, you know, your children have socks. You know, I connect with every organization that's here, right? I cross over. If I got family that needs something, Denise I'm on speak, she on speed dial. You know, so it's important that we do this work in such a way where when someone calls you, you say, oh, I know who to send you to, because I don't have one and I don't want you. That is shooting, that's stressful, right? And I need prevention. So that part. But let me say this once again. My name is Sherease Stapleton. I'm the Executive Director of Mother's Joy Institute for Parenting and Family Wellness, where we provide what's called a trauma-informed approach to parenting, and we help parents to parent with them. Thank you for letting me speak to you.
It's almost Sherease.
Yeah, that should work.
All right.
Here's
So, shift over to you.
Sorry, guys. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Samm Jones. I'm the Executive Director at PartnerShift Network in Saginaw County. We serve Saginaw Bay, Midland, and Isabella counties with services for the ALEC population, working families, helping them remove barriers to maintaining employment, which we've talked a lot today about having that employment piece can be a huge key to turning a family around. And so we do a lot of one-on-one success coaching with individuals in the community to help address direct needs while preparing them for the future. We all struggle. What our coaches try to instill in community members and participants is identifying we all struggle, but how can we struggle but struggle well? How can we can all be in dark spaces at some point, but how can we get help? And our success coaches offer that confidential one-on-one connection. And once you start working with one of our team members, that's the person you're working with. We don't pass you off from person to person. Oh no, they know that better than I do. We'll do the back end work, but we want that participant, that person to feel fully supported and to feel like they, and you mentioned it just now, they can have that moment of vulnerability that will help improve and bring them to the next level once they've been able to address those needs, those barriers, and those supports. Because some of us might come from families, neighborhoods, churches that offer a lot of social supports or social capital, if you will. But there's a lot of folks out there that don't have those networks. They don't have, a network of fellow church members or their neighborhood or family. And so that's something that we try holistically to fill, is we really try to help build up that social capital and help prepare individuals for, everyone is going to struggle, but how can we do it well? And to prepare individuals, we're all talking about prevention, but to help them, when you first get that job, everything seems to go wrong. How can we get you through those first 90 days? How can we get you through those first 6 months? And how can we get you to whatever your dream is? And so that's something that we're really pushing about. Yes, so thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to mention that we all struggle, and the goal isn't always just to get rid of the struggles, but it's to build our ability to deal with adversity when it always does get it. So, excellent.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I promise to be brief.
Don't
Don't be brief, okay. Well, I just say she's. When I speak, I promise you, I'm always brief. But one thing I want to say is I thought about as I was coming here, as we looked at our community years ago when I was growing up, there was a village that supported families in the community. Neighbors knew neighbors, and we helped each other out. That left in the nuclear families, dad, grandma, grandpapa, staying home close. We don't have it anymore. And then we see our families falling apart, and we see an increase in the need for social services and more people going into social services. And so as COVID comes about, we see those vulnerable communities being attacked at a worse level. Disparities, how is it that African Americans, Latino, and other populations were adversely impacted by all of the stuff that we had with COVID? What did that happen? Well, the state was rising up. They got some money from the federal government to give some grants. How many individuals about 12, I think, grants across the state of Michigan? Anyway, Saginaw was one of those. I believe Genesee County has one too. I was hired to do that job. I have no health background. I do have relationships. I don't know anything. I know that. And so they gave us $300,000. They hired me to pull together a community group, and I went across the group. I covered every nationality, gender, age group, you name it. They were sitting at that table. And what we needed to do is identify from the community's perspective And from the individual groups, we had, for instance, African American, we did about 11 focus groups, 11. The state could believe that we could put it off, but we're talking about 10 or 15 people per focus group. We had African American pastors, African Americans, African American young men. Why did it go with the young men? Because there was a disproportionate number of Black young men who refused to take a COVID vaccination. I wanted to understand why. We want to understand why. So we got to sit, right? And so what we did with that is we had a Latino. We had a Latino general population. We had Latino, also young men. They were another group that refused to take the immunization, the shot. And we had homeless population. We also dealt with LGBTQ. We had senior citizens. We did youth. We did, I'm just telling you, we did some of everything. Okay? They were 11 altogether. Then we pulled all of that information together. We trained 20 of our Health Equity Council members on how to do this. We were fortunate. We had our university professor, is one of our people sitting at the table from Saginaw Valley, along with one of our members as well, was our marketing director for Alcorn. What do you think he did? He developed these kinds of tools. And we took the tools, the skills of people around our table to help develop these products. And we trained everyone so we all did the same. And we pulled this together, and then we had it professionally transcribed. And then we did the work that I've never done in my life, is I had to go back through and synthesize and say, what is this group saying? What is this band saying? Yeah. We pulled that together. We just did a press conference where we released our report. And I had gone into the office and had COVID about 2 weeks ago. So he just said, bring it up with me so you could all have a copy to see the wonderful, rich data that we collected on this. And what we've done is we developed a list of recommendations. With those recommendations, what we did, we had we gave $100,000. We did 10 mini grants last year on projects that would address issues, and this year we did 9. And we've had some phenomenal results, people. Phenomenal. I don't know if you realize that in these Saginaw County is the most obese county in the state of Michigan. I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of that. So that was a critical issue. Again, it was exacerbated with COVID. Rushed, okay? And then, of course, maternal and infant care, and then we also had the behavioral health, mental health, and substance abuse as well. And so, anyway, those are the issues we addressed in our sessions that we had. And one of the exciting ones I really displayed this at our press conference. What was the YMCA? We gave them just $10,000 to do a project with 60 people. They thought I had to beg people to come to talk about how to lose weight, how to see. We had African American doctor who specializes in that, work with the Y. My goodness, within 2 weeks, they had over 120 people, over 60. Living in my church, I announced, I said, here's an opportunity, you should take advantage of it. People know what listen to me. Well, one thing at my church did, with over 400 some pounds. He actually took advantage of it. I never knew until he lost 150 pounds. And no Olympics, diabetic medication, blood sugar diet, it's medication. He doesn't. We showed these at our press conference. Everybody wants to talk to him now about the program, and we funded that program at the Y that addressed the issues that we identified in our surveys and in all of the work that we had done. And this year we also funded the YMCA again. We have one of my projects, raise your name, it's one of our grantees of this past year, and she was I think the #1 funded project. She wanted to say, we found out during COVID that most people, especially minority people, senior citizens, got their information from friends and from the wrong stuff, Facebook and all that. Many of them had phones, could have gotten the right kind of information, but they didn't know how to use it. She put together and put a group of young people at our high school together, and also did it in the Hispanic community, and trained these young people how to work with senior citizens so they could better use their phones to get information they needed. So if they had an issue, all they had to do was Google it and find out the information they need rather than getting erroneous information from individuals in the community, you know, the old wives' tales, all that kind of stuff. And that's what people were dealing with, especially with African American young men, the Latino ones. I went out myself personally with groups to go out and talk. They told me, we're not taking that shot. It was going to mess with their meal. Yes. I said, what, man? Where does this information come from? See, this is why we have to infiltrate the places where you're getting the information. That's what we are now. We're trying to work on trying to get good messaging out as it relates to the various groups so that we can make sure they have the correct information so we won't have the kind of responsive that we had to COVID the last time. So that's just my quick overview of what we have done. So you just listen in general. I'd love to tell you more. If you'd like to have one of our booklets, I'm more than happy. I think you're going to be excited about our findings and how we have responded with our little grants, many grants that we've given out. I think we gave out about $12,000 this past year to our grantees. They're doing some fabulous stuff. And so we'll have some more reports on that, but we're still in the process of that one. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Thanks, Samantha. It's just amazing to hear the kind of benefits to families and children of those kinds of grassroots, community-designed, community-led efforts going on out there in so many different parts of the community. I want to shift the conversation just a little bit here. We've already begun to talk about how the kinds of efforts that we're meeting about here today can benefit families who need the services, need the supports. I want to shift that conversation, zoom out a little bit, and talk about how does it benefit us? How does supporting families, young people, children in the communities where we live, does that benefit us collectively? Jay, if I can get myself on the table, get back down there. I'm going to start with you on that.
It's pretty, right? I probably have the one job here that, you know, it'd be great if I went out of work, right? Unfortunately, I have too much work, but, you know, I'll just give you an example of why community-based work is so important from the law enforcement perspective. I was recently at a gang violence meeting that we had, and if you'd have seen this room, there are probably 50 police officers in this room, okay? And for the first time ever, they invited the community back, okay? I've been screaming to be in the meetings for years, right? But the old gang, right? It was easier for us to work with than it is today. And I'll say the old gang had a traditional structure, right? They had somebody at the top, somebody underneath, and so on, right? It was a pyramid structure. So we could find out someone that we could go talk to, and we could either, the old professor used to say, be, bug, return, right? We would try to be one, we would try to bug them, and we try to turn, right? Can't do that anymore because the current gang structure has no pyramid. And we have a significant problem in this community. When I'm out in the community talking to folks, they don't want the gangs here. They don't want the violence here. They don't want it, period. The old program that we used to do, we used to walk the streets and we would write code violations to people that let their houses go, let their windows stay broken, let their grass grow. Because it's broken windows, right? It's the old, if that's what's happening in the neighborhood, all crime goes to that spot because they know it's neglected. So they know that they can get in there and no one cares, right? So we would have people come out onto the street and thank us, crying in tears. Thank you for coming. You've driven that crime. Okay. So under that same concept, the old idea was to try to find somebody in that gang to stop the violence. Well, since 2019, we've had 20 killings between these two gangs in this town, okay? Since 2019, 20 juveniles killed, okay? We have young people that have committed violence. So our first thought was, let's try to crack down, right? That never works. It hasn't in 100 years. So my thought is, let's talk to the aunties, let's talk to the grandmas, let's try to get in there because you know that those aunties and grandmas don't want that violence. And in fact, they're the only ones with the solution, right? So we're taking the community-based idea is it can only be solved by the community, right? It's empower the people. We're trying to give, at least me, right? I have to say me, because not everybody now, listen, that's part of my job is to institutionalize the change, right? So you have to make it part of the fabric of the office. I had a professor once, I started law school at Howard University in Washington, DC, and I left there because Notre Dame first year law school, I wanted to be a civil rights attorney. Long story, I can tell you about mine, but I got to Notre Dame, white conservative bastion, right? And I said to my criminal law professor, I want to affect change. What's the best thing that I can do in this legal world to do that? He said, become a prosecutor. I basically spit in his face. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's where all the crazy old white conservative dudes go, right? But he said, who do you think controls who gets charged? Right. It's us, right? So, long story short, the only solution is to give the community back the power. Basically what I'm trying to provide is transparency and access. If I can provide access, the community will solve the problem. It's the lack of access that has basically been an issue, right? So, roundabout answer to your question, the community-based solution is to try to get in and get the relatives and the people that love these people that are committing crime to assist us in talking them out of it, right? I'm not saying we're trying to get in there to get information. We're trying to get in there to stop it. We're not trying to charge extra people. We don't have any space at our detention center. We just, by the way, we just spent what, 40 million or something on a new juvenile justice facility. We transferred the youth, justice impacted youth, 32 of them, right over to the new facility, 32 of them. There's only 8 more beds in it. We don't have any space to put them, okay? So we're trying to change that whole idea. Let's not put them in there in the first place, right? If you don't institutionalize, then you can fix the problem. So, I can stand up on top of this chair, but long story short, the community is the one with the solution. And I'm trying to change that in our office, that mentality, institutionalize restorative justice, right? I can talk to you about successes that we've had, getting a victim and a justice impacted person together at the table. Some of you probably heard recently, we just had a old lady in a dementia home that was assaulted by the worker that was there. And there were some other crimes that Lorraine while she was there. We just had a restorative justice session with one of the people that was charged with taking some stuff from that person. I mean to tell you, I was in tears the whole time because the victim's family got together with this defendant, the justice impacted individual, and by the end they were hugged. Okay, and we're going to drop the charges, right? Because that's what you're trying to do is heal. You're not trying to. We're not. I think people get it wrong with us, right? We're trying to create a system where we don't have to house people in facilities, right? We're trying to get people back to the community. Okay, so last point, David, for you today. Not only did I write things down on a piece of paper, that's how important it is. I even match my socks with my shirt.
That is absolutely not a roundabout solution that goes to the absolute part of what we're
Thank you for saying healing. That's a big thing right there. So a couple of points. One, so this is a question to ask ourselves. When you think about your constituents, when you think about whoever that is to you, your constituents, think about how much power do you truly give. You give them power that you're comfortable with, or do you give them power to really make effective change? Right. So that's the thing for us and the parents. We need to actually put them in positions where we're trying something that we could potentially, when we look at it, we might fail at. We're being vulnerable. It's okay for it. So think about that with your constituency. How can you give them authority to, I love how you said it earlier, like, we just need to empower, not take the power away. They just need to be shown the way sometime. They can do it and run with it. That's how they really on it. That's how we get that community, like you just spoke of. The second thing is, it will be knowing two tunes. One tune is your personal tune. What is your organization? What do you specialize in? Do your thing. You know, but the second tune is, what does it look like when you're standing next to your partners? So what's that tune together as you go, as you progress? So those are the things that I'll leave you with.
Wow. I'll say, know who your allies are, right? I love the faces that are in this room, because now I consider you all to be my allies, right? We all have a common goal. We do. We all have a common goal. We want to see people whole, healthy, and restored, right? Or even to prevent some things from happening. I'll take Jerry on the end there. If I become his ally, when people who look like me, they're more inclined to talk to me, because I'm a part of this community, and a lot of people know my face. But when they look at him and they say, that's right. Then they'll say, well, what you doing with him? You know, and we'll have that conversation, right? And I'll say, he ain't here to hurt you. He here to help and to make some things easier, right? So your kids ain't in jail, and so you ain't fighting with somebody because of your kids, right? Secondly, I'm gonna talk to what you talked about, the family, like the community. I remember that community. I was a part of that community. It was somebody that falling down the street saying, Sherease is on her way home, because Sherease is related from being where she was. And we could talk like that. I don't know if we'll ever get back to that place, but what I do know is that organization can help with that. We can be that bridge to those different types of, okay, I can go to Ms. Sherease's and I can talk to her, and, you know, we can talk about what I can do with my kids in our neighborhood. Or maybe she can come into our community spaces and talk to the people in our community and show what can be provided for the community. Community is who we are working for. That's who pays our salary. I mean, we don't think about it, that's who pays our salary. And without them, we are not. So in order for us to be able to bring community back from where they are, we have to interject ourselves into community so deep that they know when they see you at the grocery store. Because I get work. But then you know.
How does this community-based approach help us all?
So there's been so many great ideas that I'm not gonna be repetitive, but the thing that always comes back to me is relationships are what tie us all together. They're the thread that ties every single one of us together. And when someone comes through our door at Partnership Network, we're not just saying, okay, what can we at our organization do for you? We're saying, what can our entire community do? We might have these resources, but we know your needs are X, Y, Z, and how do we help fulfill that so that you feel powerful and you feel strong and you feel capable and confident in building your family and building it the way that you feel that it's necessary to.
As an educator, I'm always going to go back to the original question. Can I fix the problems? For me, the benefits to all of us, if we do the things that we've identified today, is that children will be successful. They won't be in the juvenile justice system. Our parents will be together and have the problems. They'll reach out and do what is necessary. And it takes me back to a study that the University of Michigan completed, and they identified what are the root causes of why young people are in the juvenile justice system. The first thing we would say is single parent family. They're the most common. It was not. It was failure in elementary school. I want you to know that's your bit. So our county juvenile justice person at that time went and did a study and said, wanted to see if it would align with ours. He did the same study, same results, failure in elementary school. So now as you look at what we are doing, that's why I'm on the Saginaw Board of Education, because I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of what they're doing, and I come to the table to have a different conversation, and I'm the curriculum chair, and I make sure that money's not spent on the way it's supposed to. That's let me say that. All I can say is that I'm also the chair of the Saginaw Promise. That is a scholarship program that is patterned after the caliber for Promise. And I bring that up because one of the results that they saw, they give out money. They're the richest one, of course, in the state of Michigan. They got all these millionaires and billionaires. But they saw that something they had not expected with the scholarship program. They saw a 20% decline in juvenile crime. People, I'm looking at the facts. I focus my efforts and the things that I do on what I know works. So I'm working on scholarship program, I'm working on youth program, and I'm trying to make sure that young men and young women can read because they'll be successful. They won't be in our system.
David started out this morning by saying all places that work. There's something incredibly special, different about the communities that are represented here. This panel hasn't convinced you of it. We are a organization. We're giving you an opportunity to listen to it. I just want to thank you all so incredibly much for sharing not just your wisdom, your knowledge, but your passion for strengthening this community and the vision that many of you have had for many, many years and continue to use your energy to push forward. Thanks to all of you for being part of this. To wrap us up here, I'm going to turn it back over